Hi guys, so this was actually another request that came in last night, and it was about hygiene when you're just starting out with a freelance makeup artist kit. And I thought it was a really good question. I think I've done a couple of makeup artist videos kind of in the beginner stages, but I do have a makeup artist list which I will add this to anyway. But it was kind of more, the first one was to make, how do you make sure everything is kept clean? So that's eyeshadows, you know, brow kits, you know, foundations, things like that. And the next question was, when you're building your foundation up price wise, what is the go-to for me? And so there'll be another section as well where I won't be on camera, but I'll be showing you my kit and things like that. So the thing that I have moved on from, because I know I've shown you the budget-friendly Makeup Revolution and things like that, which is amazing. Don't get me wrong, I love Makeup Revolution, I love everything. This is the one that you're going to see in the next segment. This is called Sascha Cosmetics, and they are a really well-known brand. And this is what this looks like. You do get a mirror as well. These are cream to foundation concealer in one, and they have every shade possible, as you can see. Now they do come in a second palette where the shades go a lot darker, but what I've done is I've built my kit on the clients that I have. So these are the shades that would never go, and if I get a new client, I will go out and get her foundation. But from my the clients I have currently, these are the colors that I use. This was 50, but I got it last year, and it is just such an investment. Now don't go out and get this straight away if you are a beginner. Go and get your you know, everything price range, price friendly and budget friendly. But Sascha Cosmetics are a really good cosmetic company. They do butter, I think they do butter soft powder. They do a lot of really good makeup, and it's high quality. So this is something I got last year. You will see it in more detail in the next segment. And then the other thing that I usually get is their little concealer pots too, which I don't have at the minute. So I thought I'd just get ready with you today. This, I have to say, has done me so well for different clients. Just their skin tones. What I also do is, if I'll just show you, is this is what I use. It's 70% alcohol. Don't get 90% alcohol because it's actually 70% that you need. I get Strictly Professional, which I'll put up the picture here somewhere, and it's great, guys. So just get these little bottles. You can get them on Amazon, or I know we can't go kind of to pan shops or anything like that because you don't need to spend a huge amount, but they're great. Just spray all your makeup before you go, let it dry, leave it about a minute to 2 minutes at the most, and basically you just hold it like this. I'm trying to get it. You will see this. I've done this in the other segment for you, and you just shake and just hold it across like this, and so and let that just settle, and then you leave that there, and it will dry, and then it's ready to go for the next freelance job you have. But obviously this is all going to be about preparing, because we are not in any way ready to go out. It's not safe. But the really good part about this is that you can really prep your kit ready to go. And don't, my big thing to say is don't start out really expensive and buy every single colour, because you probably, the fact is, you won't need every single colour foundation. You won't need every single colour concealer and things like that. So try and get concealer and foundations in one. So this is what I'm using now. You've seen me use it a lot. These are the Conceal and Define by Makeup Revolution, but Sascha Cosmetics is what I use on brides, things like that, because there's no flashback on Sascha Cosmetics either. So it's really good for when you do your finishing spray, things like that. On this particular foundation, there is no flashback, so it's great. So what I'm going to do, because you see I've got some bad skin today, I am just going to put F1. I'm going to go straight into a contour and highlight, guys, so I'm not going to mix them. So I've just got my mirror here too. I would also say lighting is huge as well, but don't worry about any of that until you've gotten the basics down and you have a few clients, and you've gotten kind of to know your strengths, master the eyeshadow, master all those things first, and then worry about kind of getting that high end. So you can see that I do definitely have some issues today in terms of skin. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to go in here. That's just a highlight, guys, just to bring that up slightly. And what I do is I bring it up, and this is something I've started to do, bring it in and look up and then dab. And actually you don't use as much product, but you can see already it's starting to, you can see the redness is going down. Now, as you know, I use this for the cut crease as well. I'll try to keep this as short as possible, guys, but I thought I'd get ready with you today, and the next segment would be everything to do with eyeshadow cleaning, the foundations that I use. But I will stress, don't go straight away into high end. There isn't really a point, guys. You're spending money that you don't have, most likely. What I would do is start advertising first. Go onto Facebook, go onto Instagram, things like that, and start, inviting your friends to like a page, create a page for yourself like I have. And then it goes from word of mouth. Word of mouth is so important as well, guys. Put on some before and after pictures of yourself on your Facebook page, so people can see what you've done. Ask your friends to do, would they be a model for you? Things like that. So that really is the basis and the foundation of getting your confidence there. And if you have it with things like, if you're basically, you won't be as nervous or conscious at the very beginning if you do makeup for your mum or your friends or family, because they're kind of people that you will practice on and get your kind of technique down. So I'm just going to, I'm not going too dramatic today. Let's just, I tend to, if I have bad skin, clean my hands about 5 times in one go and blend the concealer in with my fingers so brushes or sponges don't aggravate it. So, okay. Okay, so there we go. Again, I'm looking forward to that lighting next month, guys, because there's like an orange tinge coming off, and it's not orange at all. But I guess it's not a tutorial today. So yes, I'm gonna just do a normal crease today. I'm gonna go in again just with my F1. This is F1, and I'm just gonna dab it quickly. You guys have seen me do this before, so I may not, you don't have to look at the whole thing. I may not put it on, but just doing different colors today. It's just such a good time, guys, to really prepare. Also, what you could do, and I'll link down below, do a course if you want to. You don't have to do a course, absolutely not. But I did a couple of years ago QC Makeup Academy, and it was such a good experience. Professional makeup artist Nathan is on there, and he they go through bridals. If you want to do theatre makeup, and I will link their website below, and I will put somewhere here the makeup or the QC makeup. I have a whole section on my list if you have a look there, and I would highly recommend that. What I'll do quickly here, yeah, it's on just the top. So yes, I think it's important to prepare, so and the more, I guess, this time you can use it to your advantage. If you do live with your sisters or family, do practice on them, guys, with what you have. It doesn't have to be everything in a kit all at once. Just practice, and what I would say is really get the eyes down. Get your eyeshadow technique down, get your eyeliner perfection down. Make sure you can, so if they ask you, I want this eye, I want a smoky eye, I want a dramatic wing, they're the things to practice, because everything else kind of falls into place. So I'm just going to use today, I'm going in with this, and these aren't numbered. This is the Reloaded by Makeup Revolution, and I'm just going to get my brush here. Sorry, guys. I hope everyone is keeping well. So what I do is I go in with this brush. These are the Glow Cosmetics. They're not named. So I'm just going to go in and only go to the top, similar to what I did the other day. Right there and here. But I haven't had kind of daytime seizures in about a year, I think. Not to the point where I couldn't kind of carry on with my day. And I went to the opticians because I kind of had to have 2 rules before I can start driving, basically. One was that I had driving glasses fitted, which I got last year. And the second is that I have to go for 10 months without a seizure to be able to get my driving lessons and do theory. So that's kind of what I'm really, you know, hoping. I'm trying to kind of get enough sleep. Sleep is a bit of an issue with me at the minute because obviously that does affect if you have a seizure. I've had petit mals, which are just kind of auras and things like that. I haven't had a full-on seizure in about at least 2 years. So um, I'm gonna have to get a letter from the doctor and things like that um, when everything kind of calms down and you're able to go to the GP, and then he tests me and things like that. And I'm really hoping to get to basically get, you know, permission to be able to start driving, because, you know, it's just kept me back from so many things. I'm just going in now with this here on the lid. It's really kept me back, you know, even from jobs, guys, like jobs that I would have been really, really, you know, I would have had the qualifications for. And if they're not on a bus route or a train route, I just can't do it. So it's been frustrating. It has. It's definitely been frustrating. So I'm really, really hoping that everything goes well. So they have said once all the lockdown, and obviously doesn't completely relax, but it is to the point where you can see a GP, because I've gotten my glasses fitted already. I only have to use them for driving. That I'm then possibly, you know, he'll clear me then for starting driving lessons and things like that. I have driven before, when I was younger. One of my family members kind of taught me for a summer, so I have driven. I just can't. I'm not obviously able or licensed to drive due to health reasons. So that's my biggest thing for this year, going into next year, is just getting the driving down for sure. It just gives you that independence. I mean, you know, it's what you want. So I'm going to go in with a thinner brush now, probably this one, and I'm going to go in with this one. Yeah. You can see I've kept it really bright and fresh, but I'm going to go in with this just to the edge. I'm only going to bring it in to about here. So I'm really hoping that that goes well. And I'm just dabbing this upwards. I mean, it's not a tutorial today, guys. I'm just kind of chatting away as I'm getting ready. It was really mainly for the, so each side, make sure you're following that line up to your brow, like that, and like that. Yeah, I'm more than happy to share what I do in terms of preparation for, you know, buying, hygiene, and kind of preparing myself as well. So yes, that is my big goal, is to have that freedom, guys, to drive. You know, it just gives you a sense of, you know, confidence and independence, I think, is the big thing as well. Because it has stopped me for jobs and things like that, and it has stopped me moving into houses that I could have afforded, but then it didn't go on a bus route to work. So it's just so many things, guys, that because Reading, just outside of Oxford, well, it is Oxford, you get really nice places to stay, and it's not as expensive as Oxford City itself. But I didn't drive, so that's something I'm really looking forward to. So that's kind of the look there, guys. I've gone more for just like a deep purple. I did the baseline for the brown, and then I've got in with like a bright kind of peachy orange on the lid. And you just bring that in as far as you want to. So yes, I think, guys, if makeup is something you've always loved, you want to make it your profession, you definitely don't need a qualification. Absolutely not. But if you would like to, online is QC Makeup Academy. And they're great, and I will link them below. And again, have a look through my list. I have a whole section on QC Makeup Academy on my list. So there. So yes, I do hope everyone's well, and I do know it's quite a struggle at the minute. Everybody's really feeling the strain. But again, if you're looking to kind of just prepare yourself, really, it's a really good time. Okay, guys, I'll do my eyes and I'll come back. Okay, guys, so the lighting's a little bit better now. I'm just going to go in with my bronzer. I don't think I'm going to go in with a blush today. I think my skin, I think because I'm quite warm out of the shower and things like that, I think it will just look too intense. So I'm just going to go in with my I might use this one actually, because my Makeup Revolution is in the, or not Makeup Revolution, Real Techniques is being cleaned at the minute. So I'm going to go in with this one here. So if makeup is a passion for you and you want to make it something for the future, preparing is the perfect time right now. Look online. Person I would highly recommend to look at is Tatiana Ward. She is Beat Face Honey. You probably all know her. If you don't, I would highly recommend looking at her her videos. She's just amazing. I've watched her for about 10 years, and she's just such a relatable person. She's come a long way. She's gone through, you know, life, and you know, she's a really relatable person, and particularly in terms of makeup. She started in the 90s with the basics, guys. Like she built her way up, and if you see her now, she now works with Nicki Minaj, but I followed her from the very beginning, and it was incredible. It really was. It was incredible, the kind of how far she's come, and she's so humble, and she's definitely someone that I aspire to and look up to. I have looked up to her for a very long time, and she's somebody, you know, that you can say, I don't have the qualifications, but I have a gift and I'm going to use it, and that is makeup. And she did practice on friends, she practiced on everyone she could. The first makeup job she actually didn't charge for, because she just wanted the experience and those pictures. She said, I won't charge if I can just have the pictures for my portfolio. And so that bride agreed, and that was kind of where she stood from, and she put a website out, and she, you know, things like that. So really do kind of take advantage of the internet, guys. Take advantage of Facebook, all of that, Instagram. I hope you enjoy the next segment, guys. I really do want to share my hygiene tips and things like that, because it is, you know, if you are kind of looking around your makeup and you haven't had time to prepare, something like this takes 2 minutes to do on all the makeup you're going to bring, and it's hygienic, and you're not going to worry about germ spreading. You can also have, there's a Be Clean brush spray as well. I might put a picture up somewhere, and that's just the same thing. You carry, it's travel friendly. Spray your brushes, let it kind of dry for a few seconds, and you can move on to the next person. So I do hope you enjoy this video. Don't forget, guys, the 3 Juice Plus shakes are up for grabs. Do let me do take or send, sorry guys, I've had 2 coffees and I'm still not really awake. Do send in your name and address to the Gmail that I have, my email address that I've given you. Monday at 2 p.m. UK time, I will be announcing the winner. You will get 3 full chocolate Juice Plus shakes, and you will get the healthy eating guide. Thank you for looking at the video, guys. Enjoy the next segment and take care. Guys, so today I've got the camera on an angle because I got a new request, and it was a question about when I started out, I told you what I used in terms of low-end foundations, which is Makeup Revolution, which by no means are a bad foundation. They're absolutely amazing. But a palette that I have gone to for a very, very long time, and it is a bit more high-end, it's Sascha Cosmetics, sorry. And what I do as well is, if you can see, this is 70% alcohol, and I spray everything. So I've just finished with spraying these here. All of my eyeshadow palettes are sprayed. I've sprayed my Makeup Revolution palettes. There you go. You can spray your concealers with it. And really what it does is, when you go from client to client, it just, everything is so fresh and clean. So I do that anyway for myself, but it just means that you can use your makeup palette on yourself and on your clients. But do feel free, if you prefer your own makeup to your set itself. So I'm just going to open this. So this is Sascha Cosmetics, and I will put the price somewhere. And this is medium, and they're cream. So you've got your perfect beige here. You've got pure beige. This is almond beige, perfect tan, warm tan. Okay, we're going to start again, guys, because I've gone and got this wrong. Okay, so matte cameo, natural beige, nude beige, light beige, warm beige. Now we're into the darker tones here, guys. Perfect beige, pure beige, almond beige, which you can see I've worked on a client who was quite dark, but she was in between. She was African American, but she had a lighter color. Her mum was white and her dad was black. She had this beautiful, beautiful skin, and so this was a perfect fit for her. There we go. That's a gorgeous color there. So that was almond beige. This is perfect tan and perfect caramel, and some of them you can see are still shiny, and they're the ones that I haven't used, and I've got some clear packaging of them. The clear packaging came with it. These actually are removable too. I don't know if I can show you, but I will take it out in another section. So this is more of a high-end palette, and this cost me, and it's actually not that much, but given the Sascha Cosmetics, they do buttercream powders, they do a lot. This was $45, but this is going to see, I've used my spatula here on, if I just bring that up to the camera, I've used my spatula on matte cameo right here. as you can see, because I used that on a client and I would never put my hand in, or even my makeup sponge, I would never do that. So I took it out with my spatula and I mixed it on a professional mixing palette. And it didn't take that much, and I mixed it in with some cream, and it was great. So I've sprayed the ones that I haven't opened. So that's what I use, 70% alcohol. What I do then is everything stays out of my bag, of my makeup kit, big black kind of carry-on bag, until I know what the client wants. So everything in the meantime stays in clear packaging. So these are my foundations, and I've just put in my MAC here. This is just my contour and blush. My Ghost, this is called the Makeup Revolution Bacon Finished in Ghost Powder. Things like that. So they all stay in clear packaging. So when I have a client and she tells me what she wants, I pick things out individually, and that's what I take with me. But what I always take with me is the Sasha, because there's no flashback, and particularly if it's a bride or any special occasion, there is no flashback with this particular foundation. So what I've done is, this palette, even though it's a lower end, is extremely popular. It's the Reloaded from Makeup Revolution, and it's in neutrals. These have a lot of benefits in terms of day and night. It has four glitters, so I'm going to just swatch these two. So these is kind of a deep reds. So if I just swatch those for you there, you can see the kind of payoff, color payoff you get there. You can see that, guys. They're absolutely beautiful. And the good thing is, they are glitter, but they're not overly glitter. So if you want somebody who wants a little bit of glitter but doesn't want to go too overboard, even if I bring it there, you can see there's not much glitter there, but it's just enough. So that's really popular. The other really popular for a crease, a cut crease, which I will link below. I've done an intro video on that. Is this one here. Now they're not named. On the back they're numbered. So we are looking at 15 here. So 15, and if I just show you what I'm looking at, guys, they're all numbered. So we're looking at 15 and 8. So this is 15 and this is 8. So I usually put this in the lid, and then I'm trying to get a finger there where I haven't. So that's in the lid, and then this is usually above the lid. So you can see there, they are really just such popping colors. They really are. And before I got the Twilight and Dusk palette, guys, this was actually, and it still is, a go-to. And then when I saw this and I got this is a Huda Beauty dupe. You can see if I just hold them up together, this one is more of a light version of this, but this is a Huda Beauty dupe. And all along the top you can see it's got the glitters, and the rest are neutrals, and they are all named as well. And that's the Twilight and Dusk palette, and it has beautiful packaging as well. So what I tend to do, and you might notice, guys, I focus on high-end foundation, because once you have the ability to do great eyeshadow and you've got a great primer that keeps that eyeshadow on, you do not necessarily need to go in for a high end. So, you know, that's why I get Twilight and Dusk. But what I do now, I used to, obviously, and I did the Beauty on a Budget. I showed you the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. But as I grew my clients, and as I grew to know foundations and know skin and things like that, things like Sascha Cosmetics are brilliant. Even the weight of this, guys, you can feel how heavy it is. You could get a lot of foundation in that, even though it may not look amazingly kind of big, but the pure weight of this, and I've had this for about at least a year now, and I spray it constantly, so this is actually in my kit all the time. I always keep baby wipes as well. So yes, you were just particularly asking about foundations when you gradually step from the kind of, not the lower end, I don't want to say that, but the affordables, to when you gradually build up your client base, what foundations do you use? And this has just been a great in-between for me. It's £45. It does come in light, medium and dark. This is the medium, but it means that the bottom half is medium. So I'll just show you what I mean. So every Sascha Cosmetics palette comes with the top row. What they mean by light, medium and dark is the second palette gets darker. So if I just bring that up for you there, You can see I have a medium second palette, so I don't, this would be the darkest I've worked on so far here, and that's almond beige. But if I got a darker client, you can see perfect caramel is there, and you've got perfect tan. But there are 3 other options where they go darker, which is amazing. So what I would do is, I don't buy them all, because you're just kind of not what you are wasting money in a way. When you know you have a client and you know they're going to be needing a certain foundation, then go for a foundation that will suit them. But in the meantime, go for something like this where you have all the options, just in case, for example, you have a bride who is neutral beige, then she has 2 bridesmaids that she's asked you last minute to, can you get their makeup as well? And some of them may be different skin tones, so that's why you have all these options. And to me, guys, it's just been amazing, absolutely amazing. So Sascha Cosmetics also do buttercup powders, which are setting powders and things like that, and I have one of those on the way. Don't forget, guys, if you register with a lot of makeup brands such as MAC and you tell them you're a freelance makeup artist, they do give you discounts, so do keep that in mind as well. So yes, this was just a short little video, guys. You really wanted to know. Again, obviously there's MAC paint pots, there's all of those things that you're free to get, but I find those little individual, but they just take up too much room. And so I love, number one, I love seeing what I have in clear bags, and then I love kind of having everything in one place. So it's middle to high end, I would say, Sascha Cosmetics foundation palette itself. And it does actually, because it's so heavy, it does actually double up as concealer too. So yes, that would be my go-to medium to high-end foundation. And again, never forget, what you can do as well is, I'll just open it up to show you. What you can do is, if you're working on more than, let's just open this, it's got a clasp on it. If you're working on more than one client, you can spray as you go. And what I mean is, if you've got 2 clients in the same in different chairs on the same occasion, keep this with you. 70% alcohol. I get mine from Strictly Cosmetics. I can give you the link down below. Get a clear bottle. They're quite available to get on Amazon. Basically, what I mean is, now some of these are kind of already, so these 2 are the ones that are open, basically, guys. So what I'm going to do is show you what I mean quickly. So if you have maybe a girl who's almond beige, and you also have a girl who's matte, and you keep going in and out of things, this is great. So all you do is you hold it a little bit back, spray once, spray twice, let that dry for a few seconds, then you go back in with a brush or a sponge or whatever you have, and it's ready to go again. So that's great. So if you have 2 ladies that are almond beige or 3 that are matte cameo, you don't have to worry about germs. Leave this for a couple of seconds, maximum a minute, and it's ready to go again. And that's what I mean by being able to kind of really make this, you know, multi-purpose. So I could use this and wouldn't have to worry, because if somebody, obviously when all this is over, if somebody all the clients start to go back on again, then I can just grab this and say, I may have used matte cameo, but now I'm going to spray everything down, similar to eyeshadow palettes, similar to brow bars, and now it's ready to go again. So yes, this was the one that I wanted to show, because it was requested, particularly high-end foundation that you can kind of gradually go to. So before you want to go to MAC, I would even say, I've used MAC before and I prefer these. They have little protectors as well that you can keep sealants on them, and the mirror is quite big. I mean, it's just perfect, guys. Now when I got it, it was 45. I will check below. I know it's on Amazon, and they do have their own website as well, but it's just such a good palette, guys, and I would really highly recommend it. That is really the other thing that I wanted to talk about, is that W7 do dupes of this. So highlighters were another thing I was asked about. This isn't animal cruelty free particularly. I thought it was when I bought it, but now I just use it in my kit, and that's what it looks like. But W7 do dupes of that too. So what I would say is, kind of, if there's anything you want to, the most important thing I feel is build up your foundations in terms of expense before you build up your eyeshadows. Because if you are excellent at eyeshadow and you get that down and you practice and practice, and you definitely want to be a freelance makeup artist, I would say practice your eyeshadows, get a cut crease down, make sure you can do an amazing eyeliner, make sure you can do all of that first. But you don't need a high-end palette to do that. Then when you've got that down and you've got some money behind you, go for the high-end foundations. And I say that because skincare is so important as well. You want to make sure what you're putting on people's skin you have faith in as well. The other thing I'll say just before that is always test out what you're going to put in your kit before you actually, you know, go out and do a freelance makeup job. So yes, this was just a requested video. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Thank you for requesting it, because I do think it's a really good question. We're all preparing now for the next step. So I think in terms of getting a freelance makeup kit together, you can kind of focus on what you need. And I will see you in the next video, which I'm excited about, which is the Smoothies 3-pack from Juice Plus giveaway. And I'll see you in the next video. So for eyeshadow palettes, and these are like contour and blushes, and this is just a generic eyeshadow and contour palette I got, and I've purposely showed you this because, as I said, foundations, build up your high-end foundations and work on your eyeshadow technique first, especially keeping in mind people's skin, things like that. I think if you're going to start to build up in the higher end, start with foundations. So what I'm going to show you is this is 70% alcohol, and all I do, especially because these are all in one palette, apart from this one here, if I just show you here, these all stay in one box, so it's important that they're constantly cleaned. So basically I just take my alcohol here and I spray on this side, and then the contour and blush palette over here. Now you can see, if you're starting out, if I just show you these, you have every single color you could possibly want. You've got the greens and blues on this are amazing, and I think, and I know from experience, if you have a very good primer, or concealer works just as well as primer, they stay on most of the day. You've got at least 7 or 8 hours out of it. The browns here, you've got a lot of browns, you've got your creams, things like that, and then you've got your reds up here too. So yes, this one is really, really good. I get most of my use out of this one when I first started out. This one is more a little bit more daring, and I have used it once or twice, but haven't gotten as much requests as this one, because you've got your blacks here, you've got your greys. The colors here are just amazing, guys. So even if you had this alone, you'd be absolutely fine. So they're cleaned because this all goes into one palette. So you have that, and then this comes into the middle, and then you have your, if I just show you, you then have your top of your eyeshadow palette here, and that all fits in, and then it goes across like this, and then you've got your purple tie here that separates it all so nothing gets mixed up on top of one another. So again, that was a generic, if I show you, Amazon purchase, but it's done me very well, and I would highly recommend you go and look for something like this. If I can find it, I will link it below. Something similar for you guys, because it really does, it keeps you current with all the eyeshadow colors. It keeps you current with contours, blushes, highlights. So then you can focus on, if you really are looking to spend a bit more, I would highly recommend spending it on foundation. I'll see you in the next segment. This is what I mean when I take things to a client. Everything stays in my clear bags, hygienically sprayed, and then when I know I'm going somewhere and I need to travel, then I start to build this up. I find it easier. I find that way you know what you have, nothing gets, you know, forgotten about and stays there for a long time. You then kind of know what you need to keep. No, that's why all the separate bags you've seen have all been clear, but this is great. It's not too big. It comes out like this. I'll just show you. And then this, again, this was an Amazon purchase. And then here you've got your Ziplocs. So if I just pull this down, you've got your Ziplocs there, see-through, so you can pop in. I usually pop in cotton wools, face wipes, things like that, tissues, and they're Ziplocs, and it's clear as well. And then this pops over and it has a little handle too. So yes, that's been great. For me, it's all I need, because I've moved, I've got a good client base now, but it's not as big as it was in Oxford City. So that's why I tend to only, and that's the big thing as well, guys, don't spend too much if you don't need to. And that's the big thing I think a lot of people do, is they spend straight away, they splurge, and then they find that there's a lot of things they're not using. So yes, I've got a good client base now, and it will build up, but that's why I've kind of gone for something like this, because you've got your eyeshadows, you can put your lip stuff here, you can put your skin over there, lipsticks here, or, you know, I've got something here. I think I've got my Nivea lip balm, things like that. And then you've got all your room for your foundations and shadows here. So it's quite big. So that would be something that I would recommend as well. But what I would definitely recommend is do what I do, keep everything out and clear bags, and then pack up as you need to go when you've had your obviously this kind of we're talking about a lot further in the future, but just in terms of advice, pack up when you know what she's asked for, you know what you're bringing, and then, you know, there's not going to be anything too heavy that you're bringing. It's going to be easier to travel, or just bring it in the clear bags. But for me, because I travel by train a lot and by bus, I found this a lot better. That's actually sturdier for travel. So yes, and it does come with a shoulder strap too.